different sectors in the county, from business people to church leaders to the farmers. I made a list of all of those. There has been some good questions and suggestions for the county. And when I talked to some of them, they would say, well, what suggestions do you commissioners have? So in order for this to be a conversation of what's best for Columbus County, I would like to encourage each and every one of you to please give the public, if I can get those suggestions for y'all, I'll do everything in my power or whatever the county would like to do as far as your suggestions to make Columbus County a better place to live. I, being a businessman, semi-retired, I do talk to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of developers. There is a lot of things headed our way. And when I say our way, Columbus County, Brunswick County, Horry County are running out of land. There is a lot of street talk out there. Some of it I hear, some of it is semi-accurate, some of it is very accurate. There's a lot of it that is not accurate at all. And so street talk can get us all in a lot of trouble. So I challenge you to get the facts on the subdivisions that are being proposed and other things as far as industry and all. The truth's welcome in heaven. I appreciate the job that y'all are doing and would like to have y'all's suggestions of how we can work better with the people. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Edge. Number 7 on the agenda, Attorney's Office. Approval of the amended noise ordinance. Interim County Attorney Misty Jorgensen is requesting approval of the amended noise ordinance to include Section 1A. This action item is associated with the previous held public hearing. Ms. Jorgensen.
This would be an amendment to Chapter 8, Part 1, Noise, Section 1, Prohibited. Whereas the Board of Commissioners wishes to amend the Noise and Watershed Protection Ordinance of Columbus County and the Code of Ordinances to clarify that a noise violation may be determined without requiring a decibel measurement. And whereas the Board of Commissioners finds that this amendment promotes the health, safety, and general welfare of the citizens of Columbus County by providing clear enforcement standards for unreasonably loud and disturbing noises. And therefore, Chapter 8, Part 1, Noise, Section 1, Prohibited, is thereby amended to add the following new section. Section 1A, Determination of Violation without Decibel Measurement. It is not necessary for a noise to be measured in decibels to establish a violation of this ordinance. A violation may be determined based on the character, intensity, duration, repetition, or plainly audible nature of the sound, including whether the noise unreasonably disturbs, disrupts, injures, or endangers the comfort, health, safety, or welfare of others, as described in Section 1. The determination may be made by direct observation of a law enforcement officer, noise control officer, or other official authorized to enforce this ordinance.
I was hoping a sheriff deputy would be here to see if this change is what they need to be able to enforce, or do we need to add something else to it? I would hate to make a change tonight and next week, well, you should have had this in there. And I don't see anyone in here from the sheriff's department. Scott, can you give us an update on that?
I think it sounds good because you don't have to have the machine to give a reading. If it's too loud for the officer, it's too loud.
This is judgment call.
So you feel that it gives the sheriff's department or other law enforcement agencies what they need to?
Right. It's just like Mr. Ted Dixon that was here. You know, he was complaining he didn't have he's an officer himself.
Right.
And he don't have a reader, so he could actually just went out there and wrote that ticket. Hey, it's too loud.
So that's
You don't need the meter.
So we got it's enforceable, you think?
Because when you bring that out, there's no noise half the time anyway.
Yeah, the time you get it out in their hand.
Right.
So that's enforceable like that.
It is certainly enforceable.
Okay. Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Bullard, second by Commissioner Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, Planning Board. Approval to establish the Colwyn Track as a planned unit development zoning district located on Goshen Road, Tabor City, North Carolina. Planning Director Kelsey Hammonds is requesting approval to establish the Colwyn Track as a planned unit development zoning district, PUD, located on the Goshen Road, Tabor City, North Carolina. The required public hearing was held on August 18th. Ms. Hammonds.
Any questions from the commissioners per the workshop previously held?
I'm good on it.
I want to say this, I want to make a motion to approve this agenda item because we had the workshop we listened to. Either way it's coming, let the public know. It can be a major subdivision or a PUD. This is my district. I want the nicest thing I can get. And the PUD is streetlights. We listened to all what we had. So I make a motion that we approve the PUD so it don't get a major subdivision.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Watts, seconded by Commissioner Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, Planning Department. Approval to establish a public hearing regarding the amended cell tower ordinance to impose setbacks, height limits, and other restrictions. Planning Director Kelsey Hammonds is requesting approval to establish a public hearing on Monday, November the 3rd, 2025 at 6:30 or as soon as can be heard regarding the amended cell tower ordinance to impose setbacks, height limits, and other restrictions. Ms. Hammond?
If you could please reference the handout that's in your packet here. These are some examples of wireless telecommunication facilities and other tower restrictions from surrounding areas. I've included the city of Wilmington for reference, and everything is highlighted for your convenience to show you the setback information, and there's also height requirement information included here as well. City of Wilmington is on the first page because it is the most restrictive and it's the most compliant with the FCC, Federal Communications Commission. I've reached out to them, but per the federal government shutdown, they're unavailable to give any type of comment until their funding is back in order to where they can come back to work. But this is a reference sheet for you here. Like I said, City of Wilmington is the most restrictive. The next page over is Brunswick County. Their setback information is also highlighted, and their height restrictions are also included on that sheet as well. Brunswick County seems to be in the localities that I have researched to be most like Columbus in what type of restrictions that they have. It would be the most comparable to what we would do since it is a county. Next page over is a reference from the town of Elizabethtown. Their setbacks are included as well. They also have height restrictions within their municipality as well for reference. Those are highlighted. And the next sheet over is Bladen County. Has the setback information there, and then it also includes information on height and fall zones. And then the final reference sheet is for the city of Charlotte, and that includes their setback information that's highlighted as well. And I know I went through that quickly, but I wanted to get an overview of that first before I got into a bit more detail with this. Like I said, the city of Wilmington is the most restrictive and the most compliant with FCC. So I think it would be safe to say that if you did want to impose some type of setback or height restriction, following at minimum what the city of Wilmington has is a good reference point as of now when it comes to the restrictions on setbacks and height, if you're interested in doing so. Couple that maybe with the Brunswick County information to make it more like a county, more like our county, and have that more comparable to what we have here. But this is for your reference. You're not required to make any type of decision tonight on the exact setbacks or height restrictions or anything else you're interested in adding to our current ordinance. This is just your reference sheet for you to look over, and I'll take any questions that you have with that.
I got a question.
Sir.
So I see that it says no tower may be constructed closer than 1,500 feet to any other tower. Is that including a house too, or just a tower?
That would be just another tower. when we're looking at the setback requirement, that would be most relative to residences and other structures. So if you see on the first page for City of Wilmington, all lot lines, their minimum setbacks have to be 100% of the tower height. So for example, if you had a 300-foot tower, they would have to be 300 feet set back from each property line for a non-monopole style
So
tower.
if it fail, it won't fall on the house.
So I
Now,
also,
where we're at, the tower we had the discussion about the last meeting, how far is the setback from the house?
so the setbacks that we utilize now are strictly for our standard setbacks. So you've got to be 50 feet off of the front, 25 off of the rear, and 15 from the sides. But the way that these towers are designed, and in the majority, I would say, if not all of the applications that we have had, these towers are placed in a certain position to where they do have some type of fall zone or a fall radius. Brunswick County, for reference as well, one of their individuals who works in their planning department, I had a conversation with him, and he is a former cell tower engineer. So these cell towers are designed to implode rather than fall over. But in a 1 in a million instance where there would be a situation where one may fall over sideways horizontally, they are designed to have this fall radius around them to where you wouldn't have any type of impact to any type of structure or any other potential property line there.
So I guess I would say, especially in my end of the county, I've had county employees call today and a few commissioners, and I keep losing them. My self-service sucks. And everybody wants a cell phone tower, and which was good. But I just like the other people that came, nobody wants one right on top of their house either. So I think we need more cell towers in this county. But, people that pay for their land don't want a cell phone tower in the front yard either, because I own the piece of land and can put one there. I mean, I think everybody else would agree on that themselves.
You all can tailor it how you would like. If you want to have anything that's more restrictive, we'll follow up with FCC once they're open, just to be doubly sure that we're completely legal with everything. But you can tailor it as you would like.
I think the major concerns that I've had from citizens is that they send off these waves that
Yeah.
is not safe, and you don't know what the long-term effects will be from it.
Right.
And so I think they need to be kind of in an isolated area where they don't bother nobody.
That's what Mr. Schuman, one of his questions was, he says his wife is.
And I agree with them too. We're a rural enough county that we have plenty of land for that.
Mhm.
But then also too, people say they don't agree with these waves, but they'll take that phone and hold it to their ears, which is the same wave coming to it too.
Right. And
So you got both ways.
FCC also has a regulatory aspect on every tower for that electromagnetic radiation that may come off. There's a certain amount that is allowed legally by the federal government to be emitted from the towers. Once it passes that threshold, the towers are shut down and they cannot reoperate until that level is lowered. So there's a protective measure with all of that included from FCC. And even though they are currently shut down, they have to make sure that those thresholds do not go over a certain level.
And while we're doing this, I think we really need to look at the fees we charge. We're not getting anything hardly out of it as far as a permit to build it. And I think this is a spot that the county needs to recruit some funds from.
Sure.
Because if it's there, I've dealt with them. If they want it in a particular area. You can't move them down the road 500 yards or, that's the way they operate. They pick a site and that's where they want it.
Yes, sir.
I think all that'll be brought up at the public hearing and argued and hashed out then.
Yes, sir, we can.
So we need to figure out which plan we want though. Is that what you're
Not
trying-
tonight. You don't have to decide
But
that
by the
tonight.
public hearing, the next meeting, correct?
I would appreciate some feedback on that from you all, yes.
This motion just to have a public hearing.
I made the motion for it.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Floyd, seconded by Commissioner Byrd. All in favor? All opposed?
One more question. Do you have a plan drafted up of what you're going to recommend to us?
I don't yet because I was going to leave that for your decision making. I can draft anything you would like though. If you have something that you prefer from this, if you find something from another county that you prefer as well, I'll be glad to compile whatever you would like.
I think you sort of know what we're looking for. Could you draft us up something and get each commissioner? So we
Yes,
can
sir.
have something to work from of what you would recommend.
Yes, sir, I will.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman, you mind I ask for clarification, Ms. Hammond? It looks like the major difference here is between 200 to 250 feet is a maximum, right?
Yes.
With the fall zone equal to the height of the tower.
Yes.
Is that fair?
I would say that is fair.
So are you leaning more towards 200 or 250?
250.
That's in the height you're speaking of.
Yes, height.
Uh,
Understanding that the lower the tower, the more towers that are required
Yes.
throughout the county. So there's actually an advantage to the heights being higher, not excessive, but because it has broader reach.
What's the average cell phone though?
Our last cell tower that we had that's coming up for the Board of Adjustment tomorrow night is 285 feet. Brunswick County, for reference, gives a maximum height of 300. But you could tailor it as you would
You
like.
think we give 300, will we get less towers?
It's hard to tell. It depends on what the vertical infrastructure folks are looking for in the area. We have, since 2021, there hasn't been another cell tower application until these that we're dealing with now. So there has been a gap.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. I know you probably don't know. So I'm not calling you out because you just got here, and this is before I was ever commissioner. So on Hardy Road at Williams Township Community, there's a tower. You don't, I know you don't know what the height is, or
I don't right off.
probably 300 feet plus. That's a big old tower, but it's in the middle of nowhere.
You can go to the building inspection, because they got permits on the height.
Is it too high, Mr. Watts? Is that one too high? Or
And it's a tall one.
is it,
But I mean, it's a no man's land. It's not affecting anybody. Nobody's never complained. That's
think
I
I-
just was wondering, and I didn't expect you to answer my question because that was on the spot question.
I think the height of it would be considered,
Yeah, if we can get taller with
how
less
much the land is above
towers,
sea level.
less towers. I mean,
Well, the taller, the larger area you're gonna have to put support cables and all on now. 100 and some foot, they'll build a self-contained
yeah,
tower with
yeah.
no cables.
I can always bring you a draft as well, submit a draft to you, and then you can adjust it accordingly.
If you would email it to all of us so we can read it ahead of time.
Yes, sir.
taller you go, the more weight you got.
Anything else? Good. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hammond. Item number 10, transportation. Approval of the Rural Operating Assistance Program grant application for fiscal year 26. Transportation Director Joyce Jacobs requesting approval of the public hearing was held on September the 15th, 2025.
And no local funds required.
Sir, this is the portion for the transports that we get from DOT each year. They tell us how much we're going to get and how much to spend in each category.
I move it be approved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Byrd, second by Commissioner Lloyd. All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 12. Solid Waste. Approval of the low bid from Johnson's Equipment Company to purchase an excavator, an equipment trailer, and a requisition associated. Solid Director, Waste Director Chris Nobles is requesting approval of the low bid from Johnson's Equipment Company in the amount of $73,420 approved to purchase and requisition.
I move it be approved and very pleased that we're spending the money here in Columbus County. So
I'll second that because I was thinking the same way. Finally, we're getting a bid in Plymouth.
And it
Motion by
was budgeted.
And budgeted, yes, previously budgeted.
Commissioner Byrd made the motion, Commissioner Watts second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. 13, DSS approval of salary adjustment. DSS Director Dwella Hall is requesting approval to reallocate a total of $1,539.66 in unused salary funds to increase compensation to promoted employees' annual salary for income maintenance supervisor 2 to the income maintenance administrator 1 position. Ms. Hall.
Yes, sir. That's what we're asking for, is to ask for those approval funds for my income maintenance program position.
And you have the money in the budget at the present time from this year's budget that was allocated.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Bullard,
Second.
second by Commissioner Smith. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. 14, DSS. Monthly report, September 2025. DSS Director Dwella Hall will present the DSS monthly report for September 2025.
Good evening. Wanted to give you an update on our community service. Our crisis intervention program, also known as SIP, is still available. In early September, we had $114,060 available funds. But as we continue to help the citizens of our county, we now have $107,246.27. This decrease was all in the month of September. We will continue to assist the citizens until all funds are exhausted. Medicaid update and changes. In August of 2025, Department of Health and Human Services announced that the Medicaid rebates had fallen short by more than $219 million. Therefore, with the underfunding of the Medicaid rebates, it required $319 million to be cut from the Medicaid budget. A 3%, 8%, or a 10% rate reduction was to be effective October 1st, 2025 for provider services. Clients who receive Medicaid are eligible to receive Medicaid transportation assistance for medical-related travel. Therefore, with the rate reduction, Columbus County Department of Social Services had to reduce our 2 vendors' reimbursement by 3%. The new travel rate for Healing Hearts is now $1.40 a mile, reduced from $2, and the rate for First Transit is $2.60 per mile, reduced from $3 a mile.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between Healing Hearts and First Transit?
Well, there's no difference, but it's client choice. So when the client, when they do their application and they choose the provider, then we'll go with the provider that they choose.
So why would one get more than the other?
That's their rate.
So Healing Hearts could go up to 260?
Say that again?
Healing Hearts could go up to 260?
They could, but as of right now, we have to reduce all rates or reduce to 3%.
Oh, okay.
They could have, yes.
Well, will the shutdown affect any of these funds? Or are they coming on?
We haven't heard anything as of yet.
Well, is this something urgent we need to act on before we know the clarifications on the government opening back up?
We have that
As soon as we
update
do.
coming in just a minute.
That'll be
It's-
14A.
Yeah, 14A.
Okay. I know, but I was addressing the money, the increase in the fees, where we gonna get the money from? That's what,
Yes, sir.
on this item, but I knew that was there, Mr. Madden, but what I was saying, when raising the fees here, do you have the money in your budget? Are we looking for the money to be reimbursed, or where are we coming from?
Right now, we have the money, but we're hoping to shut down. We just don't know right now. We're constantly in contact with our partners and with the state government, just.
And my question is this something we need to act on now, or can it wait till the government's back open?
Well, it's a reduction in the rate, right?
I'll let if you don't mind.
It's a good question, though.
Yeah, this is my new program. Manager for
Always good to
Medicaid.
have a backup.
Yeah.
Good evening. And Director Hall's explanation of the transportation travel individuals, they used to receive, these are two different companies. Hill and Hearts is a private company, and as you know, First Transit is county. That's our transportation system. So they are providers, they're private providers, so all private providers had to be decreased by 3%. That means that's how much we're paying them. So we're paying them 3% less than what Medicaid is reimbursing them 3% less. So that's not any money that's gonna come out of the county budget at all. It just means where they used to get, First Transit was getting $3 a mile, now they're only gonna get $2.60. But that's nothing DSS or the county has to pay at all.
Thank you.
Good.
That's why I had her here, in case those questions came.
Back to,
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Partnering with BGH, Boys and Girls Home. Columbus County DSS will be collaborating with Boys and Girls Home of Lake Waccamaw to meet the needs and demands for licensed foster homes within the county. Columbus County DSS will continue to promote and recruit for foster families and collaborate with BGH to get them licensed. Also, we are heading into the Christmas season, and this is the time we start preparing for our foster children to have a Merry Christmas. If you or someone you know may be interested in sponsoring a child, please contact me.
So when you say sponsoring a child, it's in foster home, correct?
When I say part, so
Christmas.
if you want to sponsor a child, like we usually do like an angel tree, so we will have names, not the names of the children, but their wish list. And if you want to sponsor a child, you would buy those items that's on the wish list for that child.
And then, what do you think it costs per child?
It varies, whatever the child wants. You can have a teenager that may be asking for sneakers and clothes. So you know what it costs for a teenager. But then when you have a young child that's just asking for a doll baby and some games, it could be less. So it just depends on the age. Really, what we found that, of course, the older children cost more.
So I want to make this challenge because I'm all about the kids. I would challenge this board to let's all sponsor a child.
I agree.
Wonderful.
You know, we're asking other people, let's sponsor one ourselves.
I agree.
Appreciate that.
And I always have, and for
Well, me
years,
too,
I've
but
kind
I
of
think
needy
as a board,
somewhere
as
done
a
something.
commissioner, we should sponsor a child. You know, you can pick whatever you want.
Well, I always do at Christmas.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I have some personal people and friends that needs help that I
I
sponsor.
agree with you. And we're not saying that to be for show, but I feel like it's important.
that's a good challenge. Maybe everybody step up and help a child. That's what it's about. Help a child.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. August collections, child support, we collected $431,538. Program integrity, we collected $4,584.91. And that is my report.
When would this sponsorship come up with the,
We're
Children.
actually putting it all together now. So if you want a child, I could reach back out to you probably, give me about 2 weeks when we get the wish list together and you can decide
So are
what
the
age,
people,
what age range.
the people sponsoring, are responsible for buying the goods or they just donate the money and somebody goes buys it?
No, we ask that
So
you
I know people
actually,
want to ask.
we
That's
ask
why.
that you actually purchase what's on the list if you can, and then have those, we would meet you to get the items or you bring it to DSS.
you'll get the one that wants a new car.
I didn't go that far when I challenged this board.
Four-wheeler.
I got a kid wanting a new car myself, so
Yeah.
he ain't getting one.
I'll reach back out to you in about 2 weeks with
Okay,
with
thank
the
you.
list and let you
Thank you.
decide what age range you would like.
Thank you.
All right, thank
Thank you,
you.
Ms. Holmes.
Thank you.
Okay, 14A, Health Department. HUD and DSS, the impact of the shutdown for the county.
Yeah, so just wanted to start out by saying that, this is something that, county administration and DSS and all of us have kind of had an ongoing conversation about. Something that, we all need to be aware of. We're definitely going to start seeing impacts if we don't, if the government doesn't open back up. In terms of health department, we're looking at WIC having to totally stop our WIC program the beginning of November. We've been funded through the last day in October, and we put a release out on that on Friday. And what that's really looking like is USDA came up with emergency funds that pushed us from the middle of October out to the end of the month. So essentially, we're waiting. We're going to get a 3-day notice on if we're going to have to suspend our operations. But I definitely wanted to bring this out and say, per year we're looking at, we disperse around $1.25 to $1.5 million in WIC benefits. So I mean, this is definitely potential to see some impact. And we're I think most of all concerned about what happens to the young babies and mothers who rely on formula and assistance to buy that formula. So in terms of how it affects public health, I just wanted to bring that perspective. I don't know if Paul, if you want to add anything at all on FNS.
I know we have a report from HUD about
Okay.
the potential impact, so. Right.
Through the government shutdown, what we're doing right now is we were pretty much told to use the funds that we already had in our unrestricted account. And our account should hold up maybe 2 months at the most. And as long as the shutdown doesn't last any longer than that, we should be okay with the funds that we have. If not, we're not going to be putting any more people on the program right now. We're just going to sort of fund the ones that we have. But we have a turnover of usually 5 to 10 per month that come off. So we know we're not going to be replacing those until when the shutdown is over. So that's what we're requesting, just basically to use the funds that we already have, the unrestricted funds, and hoping for the best.
Now, this is also stopping all of the EBT transactions too, and that's feeding a lot of people.
Want to speak on that? So if the shutdown continues, then yes, no one will receive benefits for November. But this month, they are going to be able to continue to use their benefits. So that's where we're at.
All right, so let me jump in here. So Ms. Hall, you have presently 18 employees who work in this program, right?
Yes, sir.
18 people who work. So unlike the federal government, which is furloughed its employees, we're required to continue to pay those employees during this period of time, correct? And presently, we are reimbursed 50% of their salaries and benefits. But it's my understanding that we will pick up the entire cost of the employees during that period of time with no assurance of reimbursement retroactively, right? So we need.
Haven't given us any details on what the administrative reimbursement will be. Everything's just waiting and pending on that. So we have no idea if we get reimbursed for any salaries.
Right.
That's one thing I want to question. If we spend the money, or when we spend it, if we spend it, there's no guarantee
There's
we'll
no
get it
assurance of
reimbursed by
that.
the federal government,
There's
correct?
no assurance of that. No, sir. Not to mention, I think you all have mentioned it already, but on November 1, EBT benefits will no longer be available. And you have how many clients?
Last month was
11,000 clients.
In Columbus
That-
County?
Yes.
11,000 individuals, it's like 6,000 some active cases, but some cases we have 5 people, 4 people. So we have little over 11,000 participants.
So our responsibility is to get the word out so that everyone's properly informed that on November 1st, those benefits, unless the federal government is reinstated.
So I have a question.
Yep.
So we have 11,000 people on EBT. Who checks to make sure that these people are legitimate
We have eligibility criteria.
to deserve EBT? Because I know there's people that takes advantage of it.
With
So-
everything, there's individuals, whenever they come in to apply, we have an eligibility that we have to go through. A lot of things that we get now because of technology and the new NC Fast system we have, a lot of things we do get automatic. Like now we can automatically check for, we call it the work number. It'll pull up who's working, where they're working, and individuals on food nutrition benefits, unlike what people think. In order to receive food nutrition benefits, you have to be working. They're called able-bodied, working disabled. So if you're under a certain age, you have to be working in order to receive food nutrition benefits. So no one gets food nutrition benefits unless they are disabled or they are working.
So I guess my next thing would be if the county's going, and we don't want anybody to go hungry by no means. But if we're gonna have to fork this bill, I think we need to really make sure these people deserve it.
All right, so just
Because-
for clarification now, we cannot supplement this program, correct?
What would not be a supplement if, when November the 1st comes, the 11,000 individuals that are receiving EBT would be suspended. They wouldn't get EBT at all.
There's no opportunity for us to step in and fill that
It
gap.
would mean that we're funding it, they wouldn't get any benefits at all.
But what we do have to do
It
is
would be the salaries.
we have to cover the salaries, yes.
50% back.
Because we don't want anybody going hungry.
Come November the 1st, if the shutdown doesn't open back up, they will get no EBT benefits.
And then, of course, you all,
Which we have no control over, right?
that's correct. And you all made me aware last week that USDA is the primary provider for food banks. So the alternative of individuals going to a food bank is not available either, correct?
It will be dwindled down, once it, does that trickle down effect, it could have a big impact.
It'll put a strain on the system,
Yes, sir.
right? So you all need to be aware of that if you get phone
That's
calls.
the email we got with all the food banks, correct?
Yes.
sir.
Do you ever do any investigation throughout the county with different stores that handle the food stamp cases? Where a person goes in there and takes their card and says, I want some cash money. I'll give you $100 off my card for $50 cash. Do you ever do anything like as far as checking that?
So we have a fraud department, and that's the report that I read to you when I say our program integrity, how much money they collected, that comes from fraud cases.
But I mean, those actual type of cases, because I know several stores I've heard that they'll do that,
If it's reported to us, we investigate it.
Okay.
And I still feel like we need to, and like I said, I'm not against anybody getting anything, but I'll never forget this. When I got elected, I got to FSA because I'm a farmer across the road from your place. And people are lying down the road. I was thinking, man, what are these people doing? We didn't have a county manager when I got elected. I called Miss Edwards. I said, what is going on out there? He said, it's heating assistance. You remember that? Well, I look out there and I see deer hunters, and I'm a deer hunter myself. I said, they got dog boxes for dogs and they can deer hunt. They can buy heat. And I rent a lot of farms from old widow women, and they're not able to get up there. And that thing is stuck with me, and it aggravates me. But they can't get up there to get the assistance that they need. But these people out there, these deer hunters, and they left with their assistants and they went deer hunting and probably paid $1,000 membership to be in a deer club. And Miss Edwards can tell you, it made me mad that day. That was probably the maddest I got in the first week as a commissioner, correct? And I've never forgot it. So it just bothers me.
Does this
And
bother
I just
the,
wanted to make sure it's right. The people that deserve it need to get it.
Well,
how much is this
there's-
bothering the elderly is, we still taking care of those, correct? I know that's more Department of Aging, but,
Well, not if they're getting food stamps, they'll be cut off come end of the month.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, Commissioner Coleman, with the shutdown for EBT, unfortunately, it is going to affect our young and the elderly. It's not, this group gets to stay on, this age group gets to stay on. It's. Like
That's the
everybody
two we
else,
need to
it's
worry
gonna be
about.
Statewide.
The young and the elderly.
It's gonna be statewide. There's nothing we can do about it,
You do know,
To address, Mr. Watts, as far as the energy, things are done a lot different now. A lot of the elderly are automatically approved, so as far as the long lines, we don't have the long lines anymore, because they can apply online and they're automatic.
So the ones that's not able to stand in the line can get it now.
Yes,
See, that's what bothered me,
yes, sir.
But if they elderly, like you saying, number one, they came just like I did way before the computers did. They might not know how to go on there and use all that program. They got to have some help somewhere or another because an older person, has a hard time with that computer.
A problem I have at my little business, I can do an interview with people that I'm needing to put to work. And when I put them to work, you're going to pay me cash.
Yeah.
I can't work if you're going to pay me my check because I lose my benefits.
Exactly right.
That's when it bothers me. And they're able to work and they're getting benefits, but they don't work.
That's,
The working man that's out there working is the one that's feeding that rascal. Not
that's
the
the
work.
problem I'm like Mr. Ricky said, that's the problem there's people beating the system. It's taken away from people that deserve it. Y'all see it. I'm not saying you don't do your job. It's every day.
Yeah.
Or people call me, will you fill out this paper? I don't want to go to work. Will you fill out this paper saying I asked you for a job?
That I come by and
Don't they
ask
do
for
you
a
that
job.
way? I know they do y'all that way. I said, no, I'm sure not.
More
But we
questions?
thank you for what you do.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate it.
And
Thank
do you-
y'all.
Do you know what EBT stands for?
Electronic benefits transfer.
I've changed the name of it. Eat at Bullard's today. Y'all be good.
Good pitch.
We'll give it to you. Might as well take it.
By the way.
All right, thank y'all again for the insight. 15, finance. Approval of the budget amendments, project ordinance, departmental requisitions and salary adjustments. Finance Director Heather Woody is requesting approval of the following budget amendments, project ordinance, interdepartmental requisitions and salary adjustments.
And Miss Heather, when you're doing it, please tell me why we got so many different fund accounts.
Because it's different pots of money. So Fund 10 is basically your property tax. That's our general operating budget. Fund 40 is funds earmarked just for opioids. We can't spend that money on anything else. Your Fund 50's HUD, we can only spend money on HUD. Fund 60 through 64 is each one of the water districts. And then Fund 68 is transportation, and then Fund 69 is your solid waste. So all of these have different funding sources, but mainly Fund 10 is your property tax, and that's your general operating fund. Everything else is either earmarked funds that come from the state or federal government, or from services.
So is this money already budgeted?
No, sir, this money is not budgeted. This was not discussed at the time of the budget. We did not find out about this 2.4% until about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
October 8th, to be exact.
So on the
So-
state health plan insurance surcharge, Fund
Yes.
10, you said that was property taxes, correct?
So for Fund 10, that is property taxes. And I do have some information because the Commissioners Association called about it right after they had released the information that we would be charged this. So this 2.4% is on every employee based on their salary, whether they use the health insurance or not. It's going to be collected through the same process that our retirement is going to be collected. And it's going to be starting with the paychecks that we receive on October the 31st. And they are back billing us for the last quarter of the year, July, August, September, the first quarter of the year. We actually had a meeting with the LGC last week. And the girls stated in the meeting that when they got notification of it, they thought it was only for the state. They did not think this was going to trickle down to the counties and the municipalities that use the health program, the health insurance program.
So is that going to be taking out the employee's paycheck?
No,
So the
it's the
county's taking-
employer portion. We have to, the county has to pay it. It does not affect the employee. Now,
I knew that was a big stink. Employees were upset.
so with that being said, there's a whole nother part of this where the state is throttling how we pay, the employee pay portion is paid, and it's based on salary. The lower your salary is, the less you have to pay in. The higher your salary is, the more you have to pay in.
I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. Right now, we budget the full amount of health insurance, but we have a $25 and a $50 copay. So it's minimal, you know. This sliding scale is going to be a whole new ball game for us. But with that being said, our insurance per employee is going up $67.42 per employee. That also was not budgeted. That is not included in this budget amendment. Right now, we are in open enrollment and we'll be in open enrollment till October 31st. And we may have some employees that may go to their spouses and health insurance because they don't want to pay a higher premium. So I was going to kind of wait and see how that fell before I could determine if we need an additional budget amendment to cover this $67 per employee, and that's per employee per month. So in the conversation that I had with the Commissioners Association the other day, they wanted to know how much, if we knew about this at budget time, how much this would increase our property tax. So for us, if we knew about this at budget time, it would increase our property tax by 1.6 cents, which equates to, well, just for what's budgeted for Fund 10 is $589,000 that we're going to have to pay out this year that we were not planning on paying.
And the insurance company's making this.
It's going into the state. So it's going into a pot of money to keep the state insurance plan in the black, to keep it out of the red.
And this was done after the budget was adopted.
Yes.
That's right, 2 weeks ago.
And this is where it's costing each employee $67 more per
Yes,
month.
so it's costing the county
Per month or per year?
$67 more per month per employee that is actively using the health insurance. That is the flat rate. It's $742.
You
is the
don't,
flat
whether they're
rate.
using it or not, if they're enrolled in it, it's still gonna cost, right?
So the 2.4% is every employee that qualifies for retirement benefits. On the employer side of that, I think we take 5%, 6% out of our paychecks. That's earmarked for us. It's 14 and some change for a normal employee, 16 and some change percent for a LEO employee. That amount is increasing by 2.4%, whether they have the insurance or not. And all of that's going into a pot to keep the state health plan in the black, because they think they were going to be in the negative this year. And I did not bring the paperwork that they had, but it was like $6 million that they were going to be in the negative this year. And I think next year they were going to be in the negative somewhere around $20 million. They had a little Zoom meeting and it had a chart. So it was going to be, they were going to be in the red this year and they were going to be really in the red next year.
And we don't have a choice. We're gonna be in the red too. And we don't have a way to wiggle
We don't
and
have a
recover.
way. So in that Zoom meeting that I listened to, it all has to do with the memorandum of understanding. And I've never seen the memorandum of understanding. Some municipalities had said that they could break it with break the contract with the state with a 60-day notice. Some said the state had to break it, and some of them said that their lawyers interpreted it as they could never break that contract. So I don't know what our memorandum says, but to keep the health insurance as it is now, we have to pay that 2.4%.
Well, so let me jump in. So counties and cities are allowed to join the state health plan
Yes.
if approved by the legislature.
Yes.
So Columbus County has in the past has joined the state health plan by legislative act. And the only way we can get out of that arrangement is if the same act is introduced to allow us out of it. Okay. That is very, very difficult to do. And quite frankly, even though this is expensive and it's coming to us after the budget has been adopted, there aren't very many good alternatives to the state health plan.
We would have to go on the public market, and even if we found something that was cheaper this year, it could skyrocket next year. And once we leave the state health plan. I heard that we could never go back, but I wasn't in this position at that time. Melanie said she thought it
I
was a
think that's a
5-year
true statement.
window.
That is a true statement.
So,
Well, I think it's real good that we are enrolled in the state healthcare plan. I think our employees get good health care, even at a reasonable price, even though we think it's high. If you were out there in the independent market, you wouldn't get near the coverage and probably would pay a lot more money.
Well, years ago, and you remember Commissioner Bird, we had an insurance company and they skyrocketed on us. We looked for another one and we've even gone to it the third time and changed. So, you're going to bite the bullet wherever you go with having good insurance.
I will tell you personally, when I come to work here, I was paying my own health insurance and it was $600 a month 10 years ago when I was paying my own health insurance.
Yeah, I guess our only complaint here is the timing of it.
Yes.
Had we known about it sooner, we could have adjusted.
Yes, and that's everybody's complaint that is part of the state health plan, that, they feel like this was backroom talks and nobody knew about it up until they sent out the notice. And, we're looking at, they're going to send us an invoice based off of our retirement submittal for July, August, and September. We have to June 30th to pay that off. But then, as I said, we've been working on getting new codes in and everything into the software because we had to start it on the October 31st payroll, and we're in the process of processing that payroll right now. So last week, we've worked on trying to get the codes added, a new expense code, so y'all can actually see in the budget how much this surcharge is costing us every year. I did not want it buried in the retirement because retirement is so large. I wanted everybody to see, if it gets to that point, that it is no longer manageable for us. So my first 10 pages of my budget amendments is all related to this surcharge. So with Fund 10, my only option is to take it to budget fund balance. And this is based off of budgeted salaries that we have now. Now, we go over on what is budgeted salary-wise. This amount will have to go up at the end of the year. But this is based off of our current budgeted salaries, which is $589,603. For the state health plan, for the opioid settlement, that is coming out of settlement funds because we did not budget all the allocated funds that were for us for opioid settlement this year. We only budgeted what we planned on spending. So that is coming out of opioid settlement. This will not touch their fund balance. I do have a budget amendment a little bit later that will touch their fund balance, but that is earmarked money. We can't spend it for anything else. HUD's is coming out of fund balance, but if they don't spend everything that's given to them, and they're a little bit of a catch-22 when the federal government is working, if they are spending higher, they get higher reimbursements. And I budget really conservatively for them. So they have $4,400 but coming out of their fund balance, but they probably will not touch that. Then Water District 1 through 5 is all the same amount because we split the salaries a fifth, and a fifth of $3,180. I budgeted their retained earnings, but again, if their expenses does not meet what they bring in revenue-wise, they will not have to touch this. Transportation is $1,595. That's a transfer from their reserve, and that is their earmarked fund balance. And then solid waste, again, is fund balance appropriated for $9,110. And again, if their expenses does not meet what we have budgeted for revenues, they will not touch this. So it is a little bit different for each fund. But our main concern is Fund 10. It's the largest amount, and it will have to come from fund balance. I do not see how we can cut the budget $500,000 right now.
So what's Recreation MLS Go Play Fund Grant?
Okay, so that's my next one. That is a $8,000 grant. Jennifer has applied for a grant, and that is going to cover the uniforms for the soccer teams for this year. And that's,
But we've already bought the uniforms because soccer's going on, correct?
their cycle's a little weird, so it's for, they will buy those uniforms in the next 6 months for next season.
I got you.
So I think this does shirts and
So
socks.
are we approving that
Yes.
to pay for it, or we're
No,
approving
we're
to,
just
she's gonna
budgeting it
get
so
the
she can
grant?
spend it. We're just budgeting it so she can spend it.
Okay, and if we
And,
get the grant, it'll come back to us, correct?
Oh, I've already got notification this morning. It's in the process of
Okay,
getting into our checking
so we're
account.
gonna get, that's a wash.
And she can only, there was certain, like the names, there's no names on the uniforms. It has a logo for the soccer league
Right.
on there and everything. So, all right. I'm trying to make sure. Okay, opioid. We skipped over it. So, last meeting Sid was here. He amended the resolution, and this budget amendment of $192,000 is just matching the resolution that y'all approved at the last meeting.
And that's for perimeter fencing around the airport.
Yes, so the ordinance for perimeter fencing is also what y'all approved at the last meeting. Sorry. All right, we have two requisitions. One is for Motorola Services for emergency services for $46,888.77, and that's for the yearly maintenance. And then we have one for Kilwell Food Management for the sheriff's office, and that's a blanket PO, and it is $100,000, and that is for inmate meals. And they will use that until it is expired, and then we'll present another requisition. Okay, and then my last one is a job change. So right now, we are looking to move the assistant county attorney to the position of intern county attorney for the additional duties that they're going to have to take on. And then we are also moving a paralegal up to an assistant to the county attorney, just to help them with everyday labor records, bill payments, being able to do payroll, stuff like that, just to kind of take that burden off of them. That's everything.
So when you sum it all up, what is the exact amount that's going to be coming out of the fund balance?
So out of Fund 10 would be that $589,603.
Okay.
That's based off of the budget as it sits. I think that was a week and a half ago. So any changes that we make to salaries from here on out could increase or decrease that number. So I based it on budgeted numbers to give you an idea if our bill that I'm expecting is going to be $144,466 for the first 3 months of the year.
So I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
So you put the difference to bring the county in up to an intern of 16,000 and some dollars on page 85.
Page 85.
I think that's correct. You're gonna moving assistant county attorney to the position of intern county attorney
Yes.
of a cost of $16,136. Then it says moving a paralegal to the position of assistant to the county attorney. Do you have a price on what that's gonna be?
No, I think right now, I think the agreement is.
Yeah, I think it's been omitted. If you would prefer to wait until next time, we can get that number for you, but that was omitted. It was approximately $5,000.
Yeah, because I hate to vote on something
Yeah,
that I don't
and
know
you
the
shouldn't.
cost of.
You shouldn't. Thank you for catching that, but the first one is ready for approval.
Okay.
And, interim is temporary. So, They're just handling the state of affairs right now.
And then my next question would be, and I may have missed this. So when I look under finance, I know used to, I could look and see what our fund balance was
We haven't
and
done,
where we're at. Is it in there? I may have missed it, so I don't want to be
so
rude about it.
Lacey had done that as part of her monthly
Right?
reports. I have been told by the LGC and by the Commissioners Association, fund balance changes on a daily basis. That is best not to discuss that, because as soon as I tell you what it is, it can change again. Now, I can tell you at the end of the 2024 audit, we had somewhere around 3.2, 3.5 million in that area. We have 1.9 million on July 1st budgeted. We have done some budget amendments towards that money, or increase that money. Do I want to do this? No, but the general statute says it has to be budgeted for us to pay it.
But let me jump in there. The numbers that Ms. Woody is sharing with you is the unassigned portion of our fund balance.
Mhm.
It's the unrestricted portion of your fund balance.
Mhm.
It also fluctuates,
Yes.
right? It's not the cash balance. So
That's correct.
it's not a representation of the facts if we say that at year end, you had 1.9 million in unassigned fund balance and you've approved additional budget amendments even this evening. That is not a true reflection of what you have on hand in unrestricted fund balance.
Yeah, so we
You-
budgeted, to start the year with, we budgeted 1.9 million. In January, we had somewhere between 3.2 and 3.5 that was not earmarked for anything specific. And we are still in the middle of the audit right now. I will not have a firm number on what our fund balance is for 2025 until the audit is complete. And there is our biggest factor is the reserve for state statute, which is based off of debt. It's based off of the money that we have in the bank account. So there's several factors to that. And that reserve by state statute can be increased or decreased.
Correct.
Based off of a formula that the auditor is one of the last things that they do. And so I will not know what that amount is until we finish the audit.
Which is
Hopefully by the
progressing
end of
nicely,
December.
right?
Here's my question, and nothing against you. I think you're doing a great job. So this is not targeted at you, but it's hard for me to stand up here and vote to give $500,000 out of fund balance when I don't know what the fund balance is
Yeah,
or
unfortunately,
where we're standing.
unfortunately, these are
I mean, I'm
mandated.
going to go buy a tractor tomorrow, me in a negative $500,000.
The
It
problem
don't
is-
make any sense.
These are mandated expenses. You don't have a choice.
That's what I'm
Well, I know that, but I know that the state is telling Heather this and maybe telling y'all this, but that makes no sense to me.
Understood?
And again.
I mean, it's hard to
Well, they,
to vote on something that I don't even know. Well, I don't even know what I got. That'd be like going to the night writing a check
And we won't
for some
know,
food. I ain't got the money in the account.
but they
won't
know,
know until after June 30th, 2026.
but they know they've got an estimate in there in the fund balance that'll cover the check that's on the books here to be voted on.
Yeah, but we're at 1.9 and we might be about 200,000 now. And I'm not blaming Heather for it by no means. But
And
we're up here voting on something. We don't have a clue how much money we got.
and we are not the only people in that circumstance.
Oh, I mean, I understand that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not down on you by no means. So
Yeah.
don't think what I'm
And that
saying.
that was a concern.
And that's what they're
on-
telling you and you following the rules, but that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
So in the Zoom meeting that we had, that was because of the timing of this, everybody had already set their budgets. Everybody had already set their tax rates. Everybody's tax bills had already gone out. It leaves us no choice but to budget fund balance to be able to do this 2.4%.
So
And
my
they shouldn't
question would be to the LGC that's on our case. You can say the commissioner asked this. You're on the county's case because our fund balances fail. But say you're sitting there telling us that I can't tell my commissioners before they vote on an item what their fund balance is, but then you're gonna come in here and down them because their fund balance is low.
Well, so let me clarify. We met with the LGC last week, and the person we met with, what's her exact title? Like a
Her name
team
was
lead,
Tiffany.
like a team lead, a liaison, if you will, that works with counties that are on the unit assistance list. And she brought with her a matrix
Mhm.
and indicated that, based on certain variables, each county is assigned a score. And if your score is 15 or higher, then you're on the unit assistance list, right? One of those factors is fund balance. Another is timeliness of audits to be presented. And there are other things that go into that calculation. What she said to us the other day was two things. That it's not likely that the LGC is going to hold this number against us when it comes to the determination of whether we should be on the unit assistance list. These are mandated expenses. We don't have a choice in it,
That the state messed up on.
right?
There you go.
The second thing she said was
The trend.
trend. They look at a 3-year trend when it comes to all of those things I just mentioned, fund balance, timeliness of audits, and so forth. And her takeaway with us was, assuming that we submit our audit on time or in a timely fashion this year, and we do not have a significant change in fund balance in FY25, this is not FY25, that we should come off the unit assistance list. So we've made significant improvements over the past year or so, and may, in all probability, come off the unit assistance list next spring. I'm proud of that, right? Our team has worked hard.
Yeah.
And so I don't want you to think for a minute that the county's in financial distress here. These are expenses that I would say are not unrestricted appropriations. This is probably a fund that would be deemed restricted because you're obligated to pay it by the state. So I know it's hard to interpret this, but I think what we're seeing is an improvement overall in the day-to-day operations of the finance office, a leveling out of the fund balance, and in all likelihood, us coming off the unit assistance list next year. Okay?
So one of the things with the fund balance is it was really, really high the very first year because we did revenue replacement for the ARPA funds, which we didn't immediately spend. So it jacked our fund balance up really, really high. And then when we spent it, it brought us back down lower. And then the reserve for state statute, because we had so many construction projects going on for grants and for the school system, that affects it also, that reserve for state statute. So as we have, we had 3 schools we were building. Those 3 schools has fell off. So it kind of, that we had loans for. So now we only have to look at the yearly debt versus the overall loan that we had for those school systems. So that helps change that ratio a bit. Even with the new school system, that school that we have that we're building now, or Columbus County Schools is trying to build in Bolton, that is lottery funds. It is not loan funds. So it's not going to affect our restricted by state statute the same way the other schools did that actually had debt.
Here's my question, and I maybe not be understanding this correctly. And if I'm not, y'all correct me, because I'm having a hard time with this. So I'm sitting up here representing the people of this county, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm making decisions for the people of this county. But we're going to a fund balance that I don't know what it is.
Understood.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not blaming you for this or you for this, but it's hard for me to make a decision for the taxpayers of this county when I don't know how much money we got. And I know we're saying this and we go a year. Okay. So we said we had $1.9 million when we started July 1, correct?
That's what she budgeted.
Okay. We budgeted.
We budgeted that amount for fund balance.
So let's say if I don't know and we get to March and we spent $3 million and the LGC says, well, this is fine. Well, come July, when our audit's finished and we're $4 million in the hole and no fund balance, what's going to happen?
Well, again, we're talking about the unrestricted portion. You may have $25 million in your accounts, but the state, by their calculation, may
And I
restrict
understand
all
that.
but 2 million of that.
So what's the hard part is me as a commissioner and all seven of us as the governing body of this county. It's hard to make a decision if I don't know how much money I got.
We can give you an account balance for every
I mean,
account.
you know, if we can get close. You know, I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not fussing at anybody, but it's hard to make a decision for the people as the governing body when we're in charge of everything and I don't know how much money I got.
And I understand that, and I hated to bring this to you at this time, but I had to based on general statute.
Right, and I
have to have it
understand it's
budgeted
not
to
our
be able
fault
to
it's
spend it.
$589,000. But I don't want us to come up July 1 and we're so far in debt, we don't, I mean.
Well, just clarify now. So when Heather gives her financial report each month, she provides you with account balances.
For each
And
checking
it
account.
also includes your investments in CDs and other whatnot, right? So you will have a report each month that tells you what your total cash and investments
That's right.
are, right?
Close.
What we don't know is what the state or your auditor will deem as the restricted portion of that amount, because it fluctuates.
Right.
Right. What I'm saying is regarding these budget items, these budget amendments, it should have little, in my opinion, little or no effect on the unrestricted portion, because these are mandated, restricted appropriations that the state says you must pay. So it should have little or no effect to the unassigned portion of your fund balance.
But at the end of the day, we're still taking $589,000.
Out of your account balance, yes.
That's right.
But
But it's
it
still
should not,
affecting us because we're taking $600,000 out of our bank.
No doubt
account that
about
We're
it.
not gonna get back.
that's correct.
But here, if they would have just said next year's budget, not this year's budget,
Yeah.
because we'd already done everything and approved it and said it.
Right.
They should have said, this is what we're looking for the next year, a minimum of 589, not saying you got to back up and pay it. I mean, you
And
know,
the
it's
reason I
kind of
said-
like the Brett, the tobacco crop, when
Yeah.
it was raining so bad, you couldn't back up and cut your expenses or it.
It's hard to, I
Yeah,
hate
I
to make a
understand.
decision for people. And it's like this, it's 589. It's not none of our faults.
But this is
The
why.
money from the money from the jailhouse on the medical bills is not our fault. But we've had to do
You
it.
had to pay it.
So it's nobody's fault. But we need to I kind of like to know where I'm at.
But this is why we've been so tight on spending money, so we'll be prepared for the unexpected.
Right.
That's what we've done all
That's
year.
true too. But we need to know where we at.
And we
Well,
were very
they know
conservative.
basically where you're at, but they
Do
can't.
you?
We can give you, each month we give you a financial report. It gives you your account
Right.
balances, but
But I
that is
mean,
not.
and like I said, I'm not blaming, but the LGC is saying, well, we can only give it one time a year. Well, they're the ones fussing at us. They're the ones down our throat, the LGC. And that ain't fair on me and you.
They fix and take
That's
us
what
off the
they
list.
suggested.
But
to
it still
me.
ain't fair on me and you.
Well,
And it ain't fair that they tell them what to do.
no, but they've watched us. I mean, it's.
I mean, you get what I'm saying? Huh?
Not exactly. I
Yeah.
don't.
It ain't fair
Agree
for
with you exactly.
the state to tell our finance officer what to tell the
But
commission.
let me,
Term of the year.
there is
Yeah,
a
the
reason.
midterm of the year. That ain't fair on Heather or me and you.
Gentlemen, there's a reason why the Association of County Commissioners asked Heather that question. The reason is because they're trying to gauge every county, 100 counties, and all municipalities that are part of the state health plan, whether or not you knew about it, which we know we did not. And had we known about it, could we have accounted for it or adjusted our budgets accordingly, right? They're asking that for a reason. They know the answer. What they're trying to establish is that we were not properly notified. The state treasurer's office should have pre-planned and notified each of us before July 1st.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
And that's what I agree.
They're crapping on us.
So, Mr. Watts, I will tell you, the webinar was an hour long, give or take. For an hour and a half, people brought up concerns that were county, city managers, finance directors, everybody. It's, as I said, this kind of has come out of left field for all of us. that are
October
on
8th,
this
folks.
And see, that's what makes me angry because I love to take up for the county employees and I'll back the commissioners when we've done our best to try to save money and the state is crapping on you and the commissioners. That's what I'm trying to say in this whole thing. It's not fair to us.
But this is not the first time we've had.
I know, it
things
happens all the
like-
time.
Happens all the time. I mean.
Just
and-
like,
and you
that's
gotta
like the
work
government
through it.
shutdown.
It happens in my own business. It's
Yeah.
going, it may happen to you this year with your farming.
It happens every year.
You deal with it, move on.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, it ain't fair to her.
Well, life's not.
It's
Or
not
us.
fair.
Life's not.
It's not fair to any of us
I ain't
that
gonna
are on
take
the
that
state
for
health plan at this time. We were all blindsided by it, and
Yeah.
we're all gonna have to make
Like you said, you
concessions
worked,
for it.
that's what I'm saying. You worked all that work to get your budget, and then they throw this on you and not.
Well, more, I would say more importantly, or just as importantly, we've been working towards doing a cost of living increase in January.
Yeah, that probably killed us.
Guess what that amount is?
Yeah.
$600,000, right? We've been trying to keep the QRV program in place. We're supposed to reevaluate that in January. If we keep having hits like this, we won't be able to.
And that's what I'm saying. That ain't fair.
Just something to
All that work, all the county staff, all department heads put together to make a budget, and then they just, and the insurance company throws it up on us. You know,
State Treasurer's Office.
I fuss long enough.
Can't do nothing about it. Ain't
Pardon?
nothing.
You ain't never seen the insurance company broke either,
You see a few of them close up now and then sell out.
but not them big ones.
Anything else, Miss Woody?
No, I for an hour and a half, people voiced the same type of concerns. You know, everybody's still in the middle of their audit. They're not sure what their ending balances are. They were blindsided. But as I said, I keep going back to the general statute. We can't pay it unless it's budgeted. And so that, you know, that was the thing coming down from the top, is make sure y'all get your budget amendments in so you can pay this come October 30th.
Mhm. And I'll just say one more thing. Not only is this coming late, but it's being applied retroactively to
Yes.
July 1st.
Yes.
Right, go all the way back to July.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I was saying. It should be effective next July, not this July.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was my argument. That's what makes me mad.
What you call being the windshield or the bug? Now with the bug.
Anyway, I appreciate what you do.
Thank y'all.
That is.
Wait for y'all to vote. Or if y'all have any more questions.
More question.
The airport, did you mention it?
That grant is, what was brought last, for the last meeting for perimeter fence
Correct.
for wildlife.
Mhm.
So they brought the grant last meeting. Finance did not know about it until we saw the budget, the meeting package. So we're just trying to catch up to where they're at, and it's 100%. There's no county funds.
And how much was it?
169, I believe.
It is $160,167. No county match. It's all grant funds.
That's not related to item number 11.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. Item number 11 is already budgeted.
We passed on it. We're not.
Yeah, we
acting
tabled
on
that,
it.
Heather.
Yeah, that's already budgeted. That $400,000 already budgeted.
Your motion?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Bullard, second by Commissioner Floyd. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Number 16, appointments, reappointments, and replacements. Staff is requesting appointments, reappointments, and replacement for the following board members.
That ain't right.
Well, you-
I am.
First one, Advisory Council,
That ain't fair enough.
District 2.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to hold that. I'm working on it.
Agent Advisory Council, District 6.
Put that one on hold, Mr. Chairman.
Trillion Southern Regional Advisory Board, the entire board.
Miss Barber took that, didn't she?
I thought that's what we were going
Yeah, but it says
Well, no, it
one
has to be
citizen-
one commissioner and one citizen.
Yep. Is required.
We need to have a citizen.
Just put it on hold.
Put that on hold. Yeah. Okay. Need a motion to recess regular session and enter into Columbus County Water and Sewer District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
So
board
moved.
meeting.
So moved.
Move-
Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Floyd, second by Commissioner Watts. Favor? All opposed? Number 17, Water and Sewer District 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 combination minutes for October the 6th, 2025. Motion to
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Watts, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Floyd. All in favor? All opposed? And need a motion to adjourn combination meeting of Columbus County Water and Sewer District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Byrd, second by Commissioner Bullard. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Comments. We'll start with Commissioner Smith.
Well, I think the biggest thing I'd like to say is I'd like to thank Mr. Nobles, our director, for being able to wheel and deal and buy our Trico locally. I mean, that's great to keep the money spent in the county. Thank you.
Commissioner Floyd.
I rest. Got a lot of stuff going on Tabor this weekend, so go enjoy.
Commissioner Watts.
Got the Yam Festival in Tabor City.
Commissioner Bullard.
We've had a lot of rain right lately. A lot of people's had some flooding issues, but I think I'd like to thank the state and the railroad track for changing some tile out. What was the name of the road, Gail? Clarendon Chavern. And I'd like for you to send them a letter thanking them for their quick response. Multiple houses on that road were flooding, and they responded and changed out some tile on the railroad track at a request we had come in that night, next day. One guy stopped and was offering a hand to some people and got sucked, slammed through the tile to the other side of the road, and almost got drowned. Terrible. So it was a good thing. I'd like to let them know we thank. And on the issue with the insurance that is costing so much more money, maybe Commissioner Watts could talk to Representative Brennan Jones and find out why did that happen, that they imposed that on us. I mean, if it comes from the state, I know he can give you an explanation to it. Maybe that would help us out.
And probably could get it furloughed. State's got plenty of extra money, I understand.
I'll say this, y'all got to remember, I'm not the only commissioner on the board. Representative Jones.
Well, a lot of times you volunteer to do it. I thought maybe you might would deny it also.
I get aggravated with the state and the federal government. I ain't gonna lie to you. But maybe y'all need to be a different voice, not me.
Well,
Probably gets tired of me harping at him.
anyway, see what he can do. And I'm through.
Commissioner Byrd.
Yes, these surprises is really, making it tough on us when we do as lean a budget as possible to fund all the programs that we feel like are necessary in the county. We look at each one individually and act on it. And then we get surprises like this along with, I brought it up at the last meeting about the assembly, the border belt suing the county, and Les tried to take it and turn it around like it wasn't a big deal. Well, he was raised in the county here. His family made a living here in the county. And, he should love Columbus County enough that suing because we were advised and we were acting on good faith, the best that we could, advice we were supposed to get, that we were paying big money for. And we were doing what we were told, but yet he sued the county. And then when he got the information, did it change anything? I don't remember a big article or any changing whatsoever. But the facts are, he sued the county that he's supposed to love and work with all these years, and this board has worked with him and paid him double what the building behind us was worth. But yet he's still wanting to come in and sue us because we're not answering to a news request that he requested, which on the other hand, we were being told not to release. So what do? I guess you get surprises, just like we got tonight when the judge did temporarily rule that we pay that $150,000, but hope with the appeal, at least we'll get probably a year on the vertical longer because the Court of Appeals moves very, very slow. But I'm just saying, at one point, I had attorneys calling me, wanting me to sue, but I'd have had to sue the county. And I wouldn't do it because the dollar didn't mean that much to me and shouldn't mean that much to SI either. And it's just a disgrace that someone that's worked on Job Foundation and many, many other committees, because he don't get exactly what he asked for when he asked for it, to jump and sue the county. And I'm going to rest, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Madden.
Just call to your attention, your information section in the agenda. Of course, this Thursday, you have the Yam Festival Taste of Tabor, 6 to 9 p.m. If you need tickets, you'll see the clerk. She'll make sure she gets you one. And then there's a host of other events through the months of October and November and December for you to attend. We're getting ready to go into parade season, so if you plan to participate in the parades, please let us know. We'll make sure you get you registered. That's all I have.
I'd like to thank the county employees for all they do. You get beat up a lot. I realize that. Unless you know what that person's walking in and walking through, be careful. Because they go through a lot. They really do. We as citizens and everybody needs to at least appreciate it and look at it. It's tough. The budget that we just looked at, all the refinancing, there's nothing we can do about it except grin and bear it. But sun don't shine on the same dog every time. We're gonna have good times. But just keep your heads up and keep floating, and we'll make it. With that, I'll ask for a motion.
Can I say one more comment?
One more thing.
Thank you. You know, even though we have big surprises in county government, I reckon that's why you got to stay focused. You got to stay strong. And over the years, with my experience being on the school board and county government, I've learned a lot of times that we have very big disappointments that puts everybody under stress. And a little worry comes with stress and a little discomfort, but it always works out. We always work it out. And at the same time, I remember when the budget, our county fund balance, you've been here too, was very, very low. We didn't know how we were going to make a way, but we made a way. And so, and this is not as bad as some of the times that I have been on. And it won't be the last time we get down. We'll bounce back and we'll get down again, just like my personal life does. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm very low. But you don't give up. The good Lord looks out for us in the past. He'll look out for us in the future. And I've got the faith that he's going to be there for us. I'm not backing up. I'm through. Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion by Commissioner Floyd, second by Commissioner Smith. Adjourn. Thank y'all for coming. Hurry back now.
Don't let it